A very good morning to all my dear students. Avni, Joa, Suresh, Sambeshwari, Priyanka. Good morning, everyone. Balkishan Tiwari, Anuj, Manisha, Bikash, Abhishek, Lisa Biswal. Today we have a new student, Preeti, Ranjit, all of you. Very good morning, dear students. So I hope you all are ready with your pens and papers in hands, ready for writing the notes. And we will be proceeding towards implied conditions and warranties. We have already started with chapter 2 last time. So before we begin further, let's have a quick revision of what is the meaning of stipulation. Omkar, Tuba, Nishi, Tapaswini, Divya, Sudhakar, Dheeraj, Surya, everyone. Good morning, children. Good morning. Yes, Anuj Kumar says, yes, ma'am, we are ready. That's wonderful. That's the spirit that I want all my students. Mr. Omkar is saying, ma'am, I have one doubt. Feel free to ask your doubt, beta. Please feel free. You can ask your doubts. Before we proceed further, we have already started with unit 2, the second chapter, and we have discussed the definition of stipulation. We discussed how the stipulation becomes condition. Excellent. All those who have written stipulation are the representations made by the seller in order to sell the goods. So that's absolutely correct. If I'm selling this pen, I will give you 100 of good things about this pen. I will tell you because I want to sell it. तो सेल्स का मतलब होता है कस्टमर को कन्विंस करना, चीज को बेचना, उसको बेचने के लिए जो जो बातें सेलर बोलता है उसको स्टिपुलेशन बोलते हैं. Now, if that stipulation is very, very important part of your contract of sale, then it becomes condition. And if it is related, but it is not very important, like I want that the cap of this pen should be of, instead of this white color, it should be red in color. But the pen should be writing blue because it's a blue pen, it should be writing blue. So this is the condition, which should be writing blue, then it's fine. But the cap was not of the similar color which you wanted or any other thing. It is a kind of collateral thing which is related but not main part of the contract of sale. Then that kind of thing is known as warranty. All right. Correct answer. Divya is asking still again about the insolvency of buyer and seller. Revise करा दीजिए एक बार मैम. Okay, कर लेते हैं. Omkar, I have not received your doubt. You can send it. Okay, good. Omkar is asking the weightage of this chapter. So I told you earlier also 15 to 16 marks questions come from sale of goods. In June 24, for the first time, students, you will be giving examination for the new syllabus. So we have negotiable instruments as well coming up. Otherwise, the weightage that has already been planned for sale of goods, at least 15 to 20% has always been occupied of sale of goods. So you can't leave a single chapter. हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि मैं ये chapter छोड़कर चले जाऊँ foundation में. Examiner can ask you each and everything you have to have on your tips. Examiner can ask you anything out of study material. So study material is the Bible for all of you children. You cannot leave a single topic from the study material. You must revise and you must cover up all the topics. Okay? Okay. Writing answer English. Yes, you have to write the answers in English. Definitely, Mr. Omkar, if you're giving the English paper of law. Insolvency, Divya, insolvency of buyer and seller. So we discussed insolvent means the person who has been declared insolvent is one who does not have sufficient money to pay off his liabilities. जैसे हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं दिवालिया निकल जाना, मतलब उस बंदे के पास इतना पैसा नहीं है कि वो अपनी लाइबिलिटीज को पे ऑफ कर सके. तो जब बायर इंस्टॉलमेंट बनता है तो उसका ऑफिशियल असाइनी कोर्ट अपॉइंट कर देता है, वो उसके गुड्स लेगा और सेलर को पेमेंट करेगा. जब सेलर इंस्टॉलमेंट होता है तो उसका ऑफिशियल असाइनी अपॉइंट कर देगा कोर्ट एंड ही विल गो एंड टेक द मनी, कलेक्ट द मनी फ्रॉम द बायर. ओके. Fulfillment of condition excused by law. Miss Joya, when we will cover this points today in implied condition, it will definitely be getting covered. Otherwise, section 13 tells you excused by reason of law means compulsory waiver where law has changed. So you have made an order with the seller that please sell me 100 bags of plastic bags. So law and recent law was passed that plastic bags have been strictly banned. You cannot use the plastic bags. So now you cannot say that he sent you the bags which were not plastic bags. He sent you the organic matter material or jute bags. So he charged more for that. So buyer will say you have breached the condition. I have ordered for the plastic bags. Then here compulsory waiver will come up. Okay, Ms. Joya? Then it has been excused by law. Law has made it a reason. Law has banned the plastic bag. So how can seller sell you that? Okay. So that is why he has to give up the breach of condition and he can treat it as breach of warranty if he wants. Mr. Bikash, MCQs never come in your law paper now. Earlier they used to come, but now descriptive questions are also only part of MCQs. But you must be doing your MCQs very nicely because it helps you to clear your concepts clearly, okay? So around 20 marks you can expect from sale of goods. You must prepare for that. Yes, Neha, you can cover from the notes as well as from my PPTs and study material. That is absolutely enough. All right, let's proceed further. It's okay, Miss Sonam. Meaning of collateral, Abhishek Jha. Meaning of collateral means something which is related but not part of, but not very important part of contract of sale. All right. So now we have had a quick revision also. We covered the doubts also. We have defined condition and warranties also. So quickly answer me, what are the 4 cases in which the conditions can be treated as warranty? I want the answers from all of you. It's a quick revision time. Send me the answers when the condition can be breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty. It's written over here that the breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty. What are those cases? This time you have your law paper for full 100 marks. Okay. And your papers are subjective. MCQs are only for making you prepare. Preeti Singh, you have your descriptive questions will be coming. Miss Chanchika, study material as well as the presentation, they are enough. Should we practice regular? Yes, Miss Madhu. Once we are done with the chapters, I will also be going through all the descriptive questions. I'll teach you how you have to write the answers. But definitely, Madhu, you should practice writing for your answers. जब तक हम लिख कर नहीं देखते, तब तक हमारी practice नहीं होती. So why I'm getting the answers only voluntary waiver, Preeti Singh. What about compulsory waiver? Omkar is saying damages and repairing. Anuj is giving incorrect answer, only 1 point. You have not revised. Children, you have not revised. I'm surprised. Divya, that's correct answer. Miss Divya. Anil is right. Neha. Miss Nishi Garg. When the buyer does say anything and keeps the goods, he asks for the damages. So those are the first 2 cases, Nishi. You have to write voluntary waiver and compulsory waiver. So children, today the answers are not up to mark. That means my student have stopped revising. You have to keep revising everything. So when I have asked you when the conditions can be treated as warranty, number 1, 2 cases are for the voluntary waiver, when the buyer waives off this condition, when the buyer chooses, elects means उसने अपनी मर्जी से कहा कि मुझे गुड्स वापस नहीं भेजने, मुझे इसको ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी ट्रीट करना है, मैं सिर्फ डैमेजेस क्लेम करूं. Next, third and fourth cases, compulsory waiver. One, where the goods are not divisible. None of you have written about the separation of the goods. So where the goods are not divisible, भूल गए आप, बासमती राइस एंड नॉर्मल राइस हमने मिक्स कर दिया था, बायर ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, उसने इन चावलों को कुक करा, उसको अच्छे लगे. Now he does not want to return it, but he can still claim the damages. You have wanted a first quality sugar, he sent you the second quality sugar. Whatever is the difference between price, you can claim it as the damages instead of returning the goods. And the last one is, which I just explained you right now. Excused by law means by reason of law. Law की वजह से हमने law में amendment आ गई, changes होगी, जिस वजह से अब हम वो वाली condition and warranty को fulfill नहीं कर सकते. So please remember these 4 are the cases of section 13. Now let us move towards section 14 and 15. That is implied condition. Excellent. Now I have received all these answers. Juhi, Anuj, Balkishan, Monu, Abhishek, Omkar. Some history, why this implementation. So Omkar, earlier sale of goods was part of Indian Contract Act 1872. And later on it was decided that Indian Contract Act has become very huge. So all the provisions related to seller, buyer, जो sale से related था. Contractual provision same रही, but एक sale of goods को लेकर अलग से 1930 में एक act बना दिया. Okay, it's not repudiation. Sanya says, yes, repudiation means cancelling of the contract. So when section 13 becomes applicable, we are not cancelling the contract. We are just having the damages. Okay. Yes, Miss Anusa Singh, direct questions also come in the exam. Mr. Nandha R, your answer is correct. Harsh, your answer is correct. Good. So I hope now everyone is clear. Let's move forward to express and implied conditions. हमने last time discuss कर लिया था. Express का मतलब होता है बोलकर, by words spoken or written. Implied means by your actions. So whatever conditions, these 7-8 conditions we are going to discuss today are the implied conditions. Okay, let's have a quick revision. One more thing interesting. पहले मैं आपसे पूछ लूं, because I want the class to stay 100% attentive and I like to make it interactive. Students, you know me. So, yes, definitely, Mr. Bikash. It is a small part of Indian Contract Act. That's absolutely correct. Okay. All right, Anuj. Now, all those who are writing, ma'am, मैंने सारे points लिख दिए. ठीक है, बेटा. It was good, but it is my duty to tell you if you have missed upon something. Everyone has now written the correct point, so that's wonderful. Now, let's come back to another thing. So here, when I told you R consulted as a car dealer, and he is specifically telling him that I want a car for the touring purposes. उसने एक condition लगाई कि मुझे जो गाड़ी चाहिए भैया वो touring purposes के लिए use हो. तो ये कैसी कंडीशन है? एक्सप्रेस कंडीशन है या इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन है? आप मुझे बताइए इसका आंसर. प्लीज टेल मी. Mr. Omkar, let's discuss the relevant questions which are part of the syllabus. We are not supposed to answer the relevant questions. Act पहले कहाँ था, क्या हो गया, छोड़ दो उसको बेटा, चैप्टर में वापस आ जाओ. Yes, Mr. Saresh, all the notes will be uploaded, and for the chapters that we are doing, they will get uploaded on the portal as well. Don't worry. So what is this kind of condition, express or implied? Very good. Excellent. All of you have written express conditions. That is great, because I have specifically told him that I want the car suitable for touring purposes. But children, do I need to tell the dealer that the car, I should be able to drive the car should be moving? मैंने ये बता दिया मुझे टूरिंग पर्पसेस के लिए चाहिए, बट अगर गाड़ी, ये भी बताना पड़ेगा कि गाड़ी चलनी चाहिए, पेन लिखना चाहिए. ये सब चीजें क्या है? ये इम्प्लाइड है. ये पता होना चाहिए. ये कॉमन सेंस है. इसे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. दोज आर इम्प्लाइड. वेरी गुड. Excellent. Now I have received 100 to 200 answers. Express condition. That is good. Now that means you're attentive. Now we can move to the first implied condition of condition as to title. तो टाइटल का मीनिंग क्या होता है? हमें पता है मैम. टाइटल मीन्स, yes, I heard it correct. Title means ownership. Title means ownership. अब कंडीशन एज टू टाइटल. अब एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. मिस्टर विवेक साहू. मिस्टर विवेक साहू शॉपकीपर के पास जाते हैं एंड ग्रोसरी स्टोर से चॉकलेट्स एंड चिप्स खरीद के लाते हैं. So Mr. Vivek went to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper is Miss Nishi Garg. Okay, let's make Nishi the shopkeeper. So he went to Nishi and he said, I want to purchase certain chocolates. So Nishi has sold the chocolates and chips. Children, please listen very carefully. Does Vivek need to ask Nishi that, are you the owner of the shop? If Nishi is sitting in the grocery store and she's selling off the chocolates, chips and biscuits, everything, will Vivek go and ask her that, are you the owner, or he'll simply purchase it? What do you think? Very good. My class is now attentive. Ownership. Sabne likh diya. Tapaswini, Priyanka. Very good. Now answer me. Will you ask him? No, ma'am. We don't need to ask, because Yes, definitely, Mr. Bikash. So you don't need to ask because you are 100% sure दुकानदार ही तो सामान बेच रहा होगा. आप उसे ये थोड़ा ना बोलोगे आप ओनर हो, आपके पास राइट है इस दुकान में सेल करने का. हम तो कभी ये चीजें नहीं पूछते हैं. So that means there is an implied condition that whenever you are purchasing the goods from the market, he who is sitting in the shop is the owner. Either he is the owner or he is the office boy, whosoever it is. ये दुकान ओनर की ही है और वहीं से आप सामान ला रहे. ये एक इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन है. ये पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है, एक्सप्रेस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये इम्प्लाइड है. इट इज इम्प्लाइड बाय द कंडक्ट व्हेन निशी इज सिटिंग इन दैट शॉप. शी इज सिंपली selling the goods and Vivek will simply go and purchase the goods. Now, in the same example, A also, like Vivek, went to the shop and purchased the tractor from B. So B had this tractor. He said, I'm the owner of this tractor, and A purchased it. Later on, when Mr. A was using this tractor for plowing in his fields, so tractor, he was running this tractor in his field somewhere in Punjab. Mr. C came and said, oh, look that red tractor. It was stolen years back and now I have found my stolen tractor. He went running to A and he said, wait, this is my tractor. I am the true owner. Give it back to me. Now, law said, this is very surprising. ए ने कहा मैं तो शॉप में गया था, बी से मैंने ट्रैक्टर लिया, बट उसे तो पता ही नहीं था कि बी हैड नो टाइटल, बी वाज नॉट द ओनर. Was there an implied condition for A to ask? I अभी told you, विवेक अभी गया था निशी से, आप सबने बोला no ma'am, he does not need to ask. Similarly, A went to the shop, he purchased the tractor. उसे थोड़ी ना पता है कि B fraud कर रहा है, B ने चोरी करी हुई है, B ने steal करा हुआ है. So that is B's problem. B is the seller over here. Who is B? B is the seller. Who is A? A is the buyer. And who is this Mr. C whom I have created? He is the TO लिख रही हूँ short form, true owner. He is the true owner. उसका ट्रैक्टर था ये. So when A was driving this tractor, Mr. C said, please look, this is my tractor. I have his papers, give it back to me. I'm the true owner. So now it's A's responsibility to give the tractor back to the true owner. And he's not going to leave this seller, जिसने धोखा करा मेरे साथ, Mr. B. He will cancel the contract with him and he will ask for his refund of money. So what will happen? First, write down these notes and then I'll explain further. In case of breach of condition as to, in case of breach of condition as to title, number one, buyer is supposed to give the goods back to the true owner. And in return means badle mein, buyer will file a case against the seller and can ask for a refund of his money. वो कहेगा मेरे तो पैसे वापस करो, आपने तो ट्रैक्टर उसको वापस दिलवा दिया, ट्रू ओनर आ गया मुझसे ट्रैक्टर ले गया, तो मेरा पैसा. तो वो सेलर के अगेंस्ट जाके केस फाइल करेगा एंड उससे अपना पैसा क्लेम करेगा. That is the whole story of breach of condition as to title. Now, in the same example, let's assume tractor was for rupees 40,000. So buyer A will ask for refund of how much money, beta? Refund of 40,000. But A has spent some money of 2,000, say 2,000 rupees on repairs. कुछ ट्रैक्टर का पेंट उतर गया था, उसकी रिपेयरिंग के लिए उसने 2,000 रुपीज स्पेंड करे. कैन ही क्लेम this money also? from the seller. Read it carefully and answer me yes or no. ट्रैक्टर 40,000 का था. यस मैम, आपने अभी समझाया. ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन एज टू टाइटल हुई. बायर अपना ट्रैक्टर ओनर को दे देगा एंड सेलर के साथ जाके केस फाइल करेगा एंड 40,000 का रिफंड मांगेगा क्योंकि उसने प्राइस पे करा हुआ. बट मैंने आपसे पूछा उसने 2,000 रिपेयर्स पे भी खर्चा कर दिया, तो फिर what will happen? Can he claim this money? I'm waiting for your answers. Excellent. All those who have written the correct answers. Yes, ma'am, he can claim the money of repair also. He is liable to pay 42,000. But we said that he can only claim the money for the refund of prize money. So how come this 2,000 also become recoverable? How can he can claim this money on repairs also? Because he can claim damages as well, as it is also breach of वारंटी. अभी जब हम ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी के 4 केसेस करेंगे, तो जो सबसे पहली वारंटी है इम्प्लाइड वारंटी, दैट इज अगेन रिलेटेड टू द टाइटल ओनली. That's why many a times children get confused that how warranty has happened. So that's why I've taken up the same example in breach of condition also. So condition of title में not only just the breach of condition has happened, condition to breach हुई ही है, you will claim the money. Plus, if you have spent certain amount, you can also claim it as damages because this is also the case of breach of warranty. My possession has been disturbed. I was using the tractor and now you have disturbed my possession. पोजेशन मीन्स आपके पास कोई चीज है और वो किसी ने वापस ले ली, तो आपकी पोजेशन मतलब जो आपकी ओनरशिप थी वो डिस्टर्ब भी हुई है, तो इस करके वो उसे ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी का राइट भी देता है whenever the condition as to title is breached. All right, I hope you have written all this. Now let's move to the another point, that is condition as to description. We will do these two conditions from the presentation first and then we will go into the study material as well. And we will read each and every examples from the study as well. Students, today's session is very interesting. We are just going to buy and sell the things. Most of the time I will be the seller and I'm going to sell you the things. So what will happen whenever the breach will happen? Breach of condition में वही रहेगा जो आपने last lecture में पढ़ा है. क्या होता है breach of condition में? In all these 7 implied conditions, we are going to study one by one the conditions, but the result remains the same. So whenever the condition is breached, you can repudiate the contract and you can return the goods, claim your money back. And what happens in breach of warranty? Can you return the goods? Yes, definitely. You can only claim the damages whenever there is breach of warranty. Yes, he can claim because breach of condition. Yes, Manthan, that's correct. You have given the answer for the previous one. You can only claim the damages. Excellent. Those who have written in breach of warranty, you can only claim the damages. In breach of condition, you will end the contract, you can return the goods, and you can also claim the damages. So in all these 7 cases, you can claim your goods also back. You can claim your money also back and you can give the goods back. Condition as to description. Now you went to the shopkeeper and you showed him that this is OnePlus Nord phone which I want to buy, and you gave him all the description about the goods, that it should be this inches long, it should have front camera, back camera, it should have two different cameras over here, selfie mode camera also, and the another one also, and it should be this inches long, it should have a nice gray color cover also, and सब आपने description दे दिया उसको, and everything you have told him, it should be 12 inches long phone. ठीक है? So he showed you proper OnePlus phone. It is 12 inches. All the things were shown to you. And as per the description, he packed your goods in the box and you paid the money and you went back home. Now, when you came back home, you opened the box and you found that you have given him the description of 12 inches phone. However, it was 6 inches phone. Has the description condition been breached? Yes ma'am, because I have specifically told him, I have described him. अब ये ना express condition भी हो जाती है because आप बता रहे हो, but implied का मतलब ये है कि वो seller के ऊपर implied है कि आपको उसी के according provide करना है. जैसे कि मैंने waste silk मांगा, A ने B को कहा please send me 12 packs of waste silk, which is known in the market as waste silk. मार्केट में ऐसी सिल्क को वेस्ट सिल्क कहा जाता है. उसे कुछ क्लॉथ स्टिच कराना था एंड उसको वेस्ट सिल्क मटेरियल ही चाहिए था. But when the material reached, there's a lot of cotton mixed in that. So the breach of condition has happened. Description was of silk, you have mixed the cotton. Description was for 12 inches phone, you have given 6 inches phone. So if such kind of description has been described, you wanted Java sugar, he's sending you some different sugar. Okay, all these kind of things, then breach of description has said to taken place. What will happen in this case also? Again, in this case also, the buyer can go and return the goods and he will claim his money back. He will say that, please give me my money back because you have breached the condition. I asked for a specific goods and now you have not given me that specific goods. Please return my money. Let us open from the study material and let us see few examples from the study material as well. So each and every example from the study material you must read, students, because again, study material is the Bible for all of you. Everything what we are doing is going to come from the study itself. I hope it is now visible to all of you. And those who write that, ma'am, my books have yet not come, please refer to the online stuff also. Everything is, ICAI has always kept the material on its websites also. You can go and check it on the websites. You can download the study from there as well. So ये हमने पढ़ लिया था implied condition as to title. पहले हम देखते हैं section 14 subsection A. This is the same example that we have just discussed about the tractor, and I hope you all have understood. In case of sale also, he has the right to sell the goods. In case of an agreement to sell, he has the right to sell the goods at a later date. So this first part of section 14 is just defining that what is happening is the first implied condition on the part of seller is that he has the right to sell the goods, whether he is selling it as a sale or an agreement to sell the at a seller at a later date. He should be the owner of the goods, then only he can sell. So the condition is that the seller has the right to sell, only he should be the real owner. यहाँ पे हमने clear भी कर दिया इस बार. He should be the real owner, then only the property can be passed. If the ownership is defective, means he is not the owner, then number one, the buyer will return the goods, and number two, he will recover the price from the seller. ये आपने दोनों पॉइंट्स अभी लिख ही लिए. अगर टाइटल डिफेक्टिव है, मतलब अगर वो ओनर नहीं है, तो बायर गुड्स रिटर्न करेगा ट्रू ओनर को एंड प्राइस रिकवर करेगा सेलर्स. So this tractor example we have already covered from the presentation. Let us read the example number 5. A sells to B tons of condensed milk labeled CDF brand. अब यहाँ पे बेटा आप ब्रांड के ऊपर रिलाई कर रहे हो, ठीक है ना. आप condensed milk, you know what is condensed milk? If you make cakes at home, if your mother, somebody bakes the cakes, they must be using condensed milk. And kids also love it. They used to relish it when we were small babies. We used to enjoy when condensed milk used to come at home. अगर किसी ने सुना हुआ है. सो अब ये एक ब्रांड का नाम बता रहा है. इसमें कंडेंस्ड मिल्क की कोई स्टोरी नहीं है, इसमें स्टोरी ओनरशिप की ही है. सो वो कंडेंस्ड मिल्क कह रहे CDF ब्रांड का होना चाहिए था, एंड दिस इज प्रूव टू बी इन्फ्रिंजमेंट ऑफ एन कंपनीज ट्रेडमार्क. तो क्या हुआ, एन कंपनी का एक ट्रेडमार्क था. जैसे सपोज आप सिंपल एग्जांपल ले लीजिए, मैगी नेस्ले का ब्रांड है, तो अब मैंने बोला हरलीन ने अपने ब्रांड पे पब्लिश कर दी सेम मैगी. सो आई एम डूइंग इन्फ्रिंजमेंट ऑफ चीटिंग विद द नेस्ले brand. So A went to the market. He said, "I want Maggi noodles instead of Nestle." I gave him Harleen's Maggi, and I said it's the same one, like Nestle ऊपर छाप दिया, and actually it was my Maggi. I have manufactured it as a different brand. So I have infringement, means I have made a wrong use of Nestle's trademark. Similarly, here CDF brand, they have made a wrong use of N company's trademark. Therefore, it is an implied condition. A had the right to sell, but here he was not the owner, he is using someone else's trademark. Then also breach of implied condition will apply, and buyer will have to return the goods to the true owner, and he will ask for the refund of price. In case he is entitled to reject the goods, or he can take off the labels and claim the damages. तो आप labels, brand values की अगर infringement हो रही है, trademark का double नाम use हो रहा है, तो वो कहते हैं आप इनका label remove कर अगर आपने goods sell करने तो कर सकते हो, but अगर आप हमारा नाम use कर रहे हो, गलत कर रहे हो, हम owner हैं और आप owner नहीं हो, फिर भी इसे breach of implied condition as per title माना जाएगा. Clear हो गया? Let's move to section 15. Now, this is very, very interesting. In fact, when students read it for the first time, then they start wondering why so much has been given in description. So I'll try to make it as simple as possible for all of you. So let's read each and every line. Number one, when there is a contract for sale of description, there is an implied condition that the goods shall correspond with the description. क्या मतलब? हिंदी में अगर goods sell कर रहे हैं description से, अब हो सकता है seller describe करे, सेलर कह रहा है हाँ जी मैम ये बड़ा अच्छा फोन है, आप इसे बाय कीजिए, इतने इंचेस लॉन्ग है, ये सब कंडीशंस है, तो वो इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन है उसकी कि वो वैसा ही फुलफिल करे. गुड शैल कॉरेस्पॉन्ड मींस गुड शैल मैच विद दैट डिस्क्रिप्शन. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस मीनिंग ऑफ इफ यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट टू सेल पीस, you cannot compel the buyer to take beans. Now you're saying that I'm selling you peas. Peas क्या होते हैं? मटर के दाने. Beans क्या होती हैं? Beans की अलग अलग सब्जी बनती है, you know ना, beans. So if you have went to purchase in the market peas, mother said that I'm going to make matar paneer today. Peas and paneer sabzi is going to get cooked, and you went to the market and you told the seller that went to the seller who is selling peas, and he gave you beans. Is it fine? Mother will also scold you. Didn't you check before buying the goods? How will I put beans in paneer sabzi now? I had to make matar paneer and you're asking me to make beans paneer, huh? So it is not possible. So it says the goods must correspond with the description. Buyer is not bound to accept and pay. He will not pay you. Why are you giving him beans? I've asked for peas. I've come to your shop because you sell peas and now you're giving me the beans. So he's not bound to accept and pay for the goods if they're not as per description. I will not make you the payment because I've demanded for something and it is not being fulfilled. Buyer has undertaken to purchase the goods by the description, whether the description was essential where the buyer had agreed to purchase. If the goods do not, it shall be a breach of condition. तो वही बात दोबारा लिख रहा है कि अगर बायर ने बोला है, या तो सेलर अपनी तरफ से डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं या बायर उसे कह रहे हैं कि मुझे ये गुड्स चाहिए. इफ दे डू नॉट कॉरेस्पॉन्ड मींस, लिख लीजिए इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में इजी, कॉरेस्पॉन्ड मींस मैच. If they do not correspond means if they do not match with the description, then you can return the goods. Simple. If the condition goes beyond the root of contract, ये पहले दो पैराग्राफ्स इजी हो गए, समझ आ गया, एक ही बात कह रहा है बार बार कि अगर गुड्स डिस्क्रिप्शन वाले नहीं है तो रिटर्न करते हैं. If the condition which goes to the root of the contract and breach of it entitles the buyer to reject, whether the buyer is able to inspect them or not. Now, this is little detailed. I gave you an example, the mobile phone I've purchased. I've requested for 12 inches long mobile phone. He has given me 6 inches phone. He did not allow me to inspect it. He did not allow me to open the box and check. वो कहता घर जाके देख लेना. So now these kind of conditions, we're not allowing you to inspect it. Again, you have the right to reject the goods. Okay. So 12 bags of waste silk. There's an implied condition. Silk should be waste silk. If it is not the same, cotton was mixed, he can reject it. A ship was contracted to be sold as copper fastened vessel. अब ये वर्ड्स ना कई बार बच्चों को लगता है पता नहीं ये क्या ही आ गया बीच में, कॉपर फास्टेंड वेसल, कुछ नहीं है, सिंपल। वेसल मतलब शिप को वेसल कह रहे हैं। शिप होती है जिसमें कंटेंजेंट गुड्स हमारे आ रहे थे, याद है ना, पोर्ट पे थी शिप खड़ी हुई थी। अब उस शिप को बेचने का फैसला हो रहा है, हम शिप बेच रहे हैं। कॉपर लगा होना चाहिए शिप में, कॉपर फास्टेंड वेसल मींस कॉपर की बनी हुई होनी चाहिए। बट जब शिप खरीदी हमने, वेसल खरीदा, वो बोला वो पार्टली कॉपर था, बाकी उन्होंने कोई और मेटल लगाया हो। रिटर्न द गुड्स एंड क्लेम द damages. We decided that it should be copper fastened vessel. Now you have attached partly it is copper, partly some other metal has got mixed. Buyer has the right to reject the goods. Examiner will ask you case study based questions. 3 paragraphs you will write. Section 15, goods as per description. Number 1 point will be whenever the goods there is a contract for sale of the goods shall correspond with the description. Number 2 point will be if the goods are not as per the description, buyer is entitled to reject the goods and not pay for it. He's not bound to accept and pay if they're not as per the descriptions. Any breach of condition, buyer has the right to reject the goods. Facts of the case. In the given case, the goods should have been as per copper fastened vessel. However, they were partly copper fastened, some other metal has got mixed. Conclusion. On the basis of above analysis and provision, buyer has the right to reject the goods and claim the damages for breach of implied condition as to description. That's it. You have to be very specific, children. अब ऐसे छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चंस का जब तक आप आंसर नहीं ना लिख कर देखते, तब तक आपकी प्रैक्टिस नहीं होती। फिर बच्चे बोलते हैं मैम समझ तो बड़ा इजी आ गया था, गुड्स एज टू डिस्क्रिप्शन देखा जाए तो है क्या, 2 लाइनें ही इसमें समझने वाली है कि गुड्स अगर डिस्क्रिप्शन वाले हैं तो ठीक है, नहीं है तो भाई बायर गुड्स रिटर्न कर दे। बट लिखना इज दी होल मैजिक। लिखना कैसे है? लिखना ऐसे है, रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर में यूट्यूब पे वापस बैक करके सुन लेना कि मैम ने कैसे बताया, उस तरह से इसका आंसर लिख कर प्रैक्टिस करना, फिर आपको समझ आ जाएगा। देन यू, नो वन कैन स्टॉप यू फ्रॉम गेटिंग फुल मार्क्स इन योर केस स्टडीज। Always practice writing. We can't do all the practice of writing because in this 2 hours, but I've told you practice writing this answer in that way. Okay. ओके, फिर द क्लास द गुड्स बिलोंग टू स्पेसिफिक कैटेगरी। अब इजिप्शियन कॉटन की बात हुई है तो भाई इजिप्शियन कॉटन ही दो, रशियन कॉटन मत दो। जावा शुगर की बात हुई है तो सेकंड क्वालिटी शुगर मत दो, जावा शुगर ही दो। सिंपल एग्जांपल लेते हैं डे टू डे लाइफ में, बोरोसिल ग्लासेस होते हैं घर में सबके। अब मम्मा मार्केट में गए, उन्होंने बोला 6 पैकेट्स ऑफ बोरोसिल ग्लासेस, एंड बोरोसिल ग्लासेस शॉपकीपर सेल करता है, डिस्क्रिप्शन उसने गुड्स की दी, ये बोरोसिल ग्लासेस है। घर आए तो देखा नॉर्मल हीरा के ग्लास थे। तो डिफरेंस है, आज फाइंड आउट करना, बोरोसिल ग्लासेस एंड डिफरेंट रेगुलर हीरा ग्लासेस, इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस? यस, देयर इज लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस। बोरोसिल ग्लासेस आर वेरी थिन, हल्का सा गिरा तो टूट जाएगा, बट हीरा के थोड़े मजबूत होते हैं, दे विल नॉट ब्रेक। सो ऑल माय इंग्लिश फ्रेंड्स, if you went to purchase borosilicate glasses, he is giving you some different quality, description has not been met, you can return. All right, children. So the word description has not been defined anywhere. It is only depending upon the question of facts. So whether or not it is as per the identity depends upon each case of the construction of the contract. Description word इन्होंने define नहीं करा. Act does not define description, but it has just given you certain categories that this is how the contract, if you are asking for specific things, then the goods shall be as per that specific description. ठीक हो गया। अब चलते हैं बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग, सेल बाय सैंपल। इससे पहले मैं एक बार आपकी क्वेरीज में नजर मार लूं, एनी डाउट्स? ओके, नो डाउट्स। Description of specific goods, that's fine. Study material is best, yes Omkar. एक बार रिपीट कर दो अभय जैन, क्या रिपीट कर दो? आई हैव जस्ट सीन योर क्वेरी एंड somebody saying condensed milk is very tasty, so good, but remember for the condensed milk we have done the example of infringement. विपिन कुमार मैम प्लीज हिंदी में बता दो बेटा, प्लीज आस्क व्हाट यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड, आप क्या चाहते हो मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूं हिंदी में, वो क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए। Mr. Anush Kumar, no, in case of breach of warranty, you cannot return the goods. You can only claim the damages. Good. Everybody, those who have written, ma'am, crystal clear, understood. That's wonderful. All right. Sale by sample. Let's proceed ahead. Section 17. Now, whenever we are selling the goods as per sample, there is an implied condition. Now, what is the meaning of sample? Another interesting example. Section 14A. Suraj, 14A was condition as to title. We have already discussed that. Yes, these are all implied conditions, Mr. Anil Yadav. Okay, those who are still having doubts in condition as to title, when we do the first implied warranty, we will once again repeat that as well. Okay, now let's proceed further. Now, for the sale by sample, again, very interesting childhood memory that you can remember. When you used to go to the market with your parents, and sometime in, when festive season is around, like Diwali or Holi or something, they have kept certain festivities or mithais or cakes for tasting. कभी आपने देखा है ऐसे दुकान में पड़ा होता है, बाहर टेस्टिंग के लिए पड़ा होता है, बड़ा मजा आता है बच्चों को ना वो सैंपल टेस्ट, बच्चे क्या बड़ों को भी बड़ा अच्छा लगता है कि सैंपल टेस्ट करा रहे हैं. तो जल्दी से मुझे बताओ पहले, आपको अच्छा लगता है चॉकलेट्स का, केक्स का, ऐसे डेजर्ट्स का सैंपल टेस्ट करना? Yes, child, you can make your own notes for understanding, Mr. Vivek. There's nothing to ask in that. That's good. You should make. Miss Lisa, if the car you were not he was not the owner from whom you have purchased, then breach of condition as to title will become applicable. Anand Sahu says, yes, ma'am, in sweet shops it happens. Yes, that's good. So do you enjoy testing? Goods provide for testing. That's nice. That's very good. Yes, ma'am, we relish. That's nice. Thank you, Mrs. Rohini, and you will definitely recover very well for your health also, and keep attending the classes. I'm glad you're enjoying the classes. Okay. So all of those who have written, yes, ma'am, we enjoy testing the goods. Now, tell me one thing, children. You tested a particular barfi, a dessert, a sweet, and then you liked it a lot, and you said, please pack 10 kgs of this particular barfi for me. Okay. But when you went home, it tasted so bad. It was not as per the sample. What will you do? बहुत गुस्सा आएगा, गलत हो गया मेरे साथ. मुझे तो इतनी अच्छी बर्फी टेस्ट कराई, सैंपल तो इतना बढ़िया था, बट जो बल्क दिया, बल्क मींस जो लार्ज क्वांटिटी, मैंने 12 केजीज ऑफ बर्फी पैक कराई, इतनी सारा सामान लेकर आई, इट इज नॉट एज पर द सैंपल. सो एज अ जनरल इंडिविजुअल ह्यूमन बीइंग, व्हाट विल यू डू? Simply go and file a case, or you will return the goods. See, this is not as per the sample. You have to prove that point. There is a breach of implied condition. Breach हुआ है, धोखा हुआ है मेरे साथ, मुझे sample test कराया गया, but the goods are not as per the sample. Go and return it. You have that freedom as per Sale of Goods Act. Okay? Okay. So let's proceed further. It says a contract, there is an implied condition that the bulk shall correspond with the sample in quality. And if the sample, it should be given a reasonable opportunity to compare the sample. Now, this is very, very important point. See, for example, Miss Sakshi was tasting this barfi, and she should have checked it that before buying that 12 kgs, is it actually corresponding to the taste what I have already tasted? Is it the same? He should be given the opportunity of comparing. So that is very, very important. So he should be given that opportunity to compare it. And then if the goods should be free from any defects making them unmerchantable. देखो सैंपल मैंने आपको दिया, पहले तो एग्जांपल 8 देख लेते हैं. सैंपल ऑफ 2 parcels of wheat, seller allowed the inspection of the smaller part but not on the larger part. Buyer will refuse to take. पहले तो अगर आपने सैंपल मुझे दिया है, गुड्स अकॉर्डिंग टू सैंपल नहीं है, तो मैं रिटर्न कर सकती हूँ, बट बिफोर दैट स्टेज बायर शुड बी अलाउड टू कंपेयर द सैंपल. कंपेयर मींस चेक करना. सो जब मैंने वो बर्फी टेस्ट करी एंड मैंने बल्क ऑर्डर करा, उसे चेक भी कर लो कि सेम है, फिर तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ले जाओ. अपॉर्चुनिटी दी होनी चाहिए कंपेयर करने के लिए. नाउ कैविट एम्प्टर आल्सो कम्स इनटू पिक्चर. Okay, so when we children, caveat emptor, that is the last topic of this chapter. It is very, very much related to the same topic that we're covering now. So please pay attention to each and every implied condition, because caveat emptor की exceptions है ये सारी implied conditions. So it is very related. Okay, so sample आपने check करा, ठीक है, it's okay, fine, no returning of goods. आपको opportunity मिलनी चाहिए compare करने के लिए. इसने 2 पार्सल्स बीट के थे, एक को इंस्पेक्ट करना अलाउ करा, दूसरे को नहीं करा, तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम रिफ्यूज कर देंगे, हम लेंगे ही नहीं वो वाला बैग. बायर कैन रिफ्यूज टू टेक द गुड्स बिकॉज यू आर नॉट अलाउइंग मी टू इंस्पेक्ट इट. सिंपल. गुड्स shall be free from any defect that make them unmerchantable. Now what is merchantable? आप बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, दुकान चला रहे हैं, merchantable क्वालिटी होनी चाहिए. आप शॉप में फ्लावर खरीदने गए, फ्लावर मीन्स आटा, मैदा, and there were ants in it. Is it eatable? Is it edible? Is it merchantable? No, ma'am, it is unmerchantable. You will return it. In fact, you can file a case also against the person who is giving you such kind of stuff. It is your duty also to check it. आप भी थोड़ा सा देख लो. पैकेट बंद है तो नहीं देख सकते, बट अगर ओपन है, आपको पता लग रहा है कि उसमें एंड्स है, विल यू बाय इट? यू विल नेवर बाय, एंड यू शुड नॉट बाय इट. यू कैन नॉट से कि मुझे डिफेक्ट दिखा, मैं फिर भी गुड ले आई. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल. So the goods, it shall not be apparent on reasonable examination. This condition is applicable only with regard to defects which could not be discovered by an ordinary examination. The goods shall be free from defects. Reasonable examination of sample should be allowed, and the goods, ordinary examination of the goods means when I'm seeing it, it is visible. That is patent defects जो दिखते हैं. Latent defects which are hidden, then buyer can avoid the contract. The goods shall be free from any latent defects, that is hidden defects. दो तरह के defects होते हैं. You must have done this topic in while doing Indian Contract Act fraud also. So there are two types of defects, patent and latent defects. Latent means hidden defects which one cannot see on reasonable examination of goods. अब ये थोड़ी लॉ की लैंग्वेज है, रीजनेबल एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ गुड्स. अब इसका मीनिंग क्या है? आपने रीजनेबली एग्जामिन करा गुड्स को, एंड यू फाउंड in the flower you can see the ants roaming around, so you'll not buy the goods. They are patent defects, they are visible. But there are latent defects. See, for example, latent defects का example लेते हैं. Remember the first day stipulation when you went to purchase sari with your mother, and that shopkeeper was flaunting, this sari is very beautiful, it will look so good on you, you'll look very nice in this pretty pink color. But that sari was torn from the side. And when he was showing you the sari like this, he has held the sari from that torn place and he showed you like this, and you find it absolutely correct. Or he has done some stitching in that sari that it was not visible, that it is not merchantable. It was torn from side and he has just, कहते हैं ना जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं जुगाड़ बना देना, कि आपको पता नहीं चल पा रहा कि उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है. तो ऐसे जो डिफेक्ट्स होते हैं ना, ये हिडन डिफेक्ट है. लेटर ऑन जब बायर को पता लगता है तो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैंसिल कर सकता है. अनदर एग्जांपल, आपने टेबल बाय करा, अपना स्टडी टेबल. वन लेग ऑफ द टेबल वाज ब्रोकन, बट द सेलर हैज पेस्टेड इट फॉर सेलिंग द टेबल. But the moment you got the table home, the leg came out, and you can see the glue which was stick. It was unmerchantable. It was not in a good condition. It was just he has pasted it so that he can sell the goods. Such kind of latent defects, hidden defects, will give the right to the buyer to reject the goods. All right, so goods shall be free from such kind of defects. A company sold shoes. Let's see this example. Company sold shoes which were made of special sole by sample for the French army. तो कंपनी थी उसने जूते सेल करे एंड एक स्पेशल उन्होंने कहा वी हैव मेड दिस सोल व्हिच वी हैव पुट इन दीस शूज सो द आर्मी पीपल कैन वेयर दीस शूज कंफर्टेबली बट लेटर इट वाज फाउंड दैट दे वर कंटेनिंग पेपर so when they examined by ordinary examination means I went and I see the shoe it was absolutely fine even the sole was sounding soft but later when they just picked up the sole it was paper instead of that special sole buyer can claim the refund of the price plus the damages as well. Why? Because the good sample was something else. The goods are not as per the sample. Definitely, you can fight in such a case. All right. Okay, Mr. Abhisheka, I hope it's clear. Sale by description again. Neha, you can ask what you have not understood. Okay. Miss Vallabhnani, you can send your doubts if you want to ask something. Reasonable opportunity. Nishi, reasonable opportunity means that you're giving the chance to the buyer to inspect the goods. Let's once again open the presentation. Yes, Anuza. Okay, all right. Is it now clear? Okay, there was some technical error in between students. I hope now you can see me. I think my video is still not coming, sir. Technical help, please see if my video is there. Okay. Yes, patent defects also you have the right to reject the goods, Ms. Neha Yadav. If there is any patent defect, you can find the defects, then you can reject it. All right, thank you, Monu, Nishi, Sudhakar for confirming that it's visible now. That's great. All right, so sale by sample and description. Now what happens? Both the things are being considered. So now I'm showing you the sample also. You can see two different bottles of oil. One is sunflower oil and one is a mixed oil. You have mixed some other category of hemp oil in that. So you showed me the sample and I said, okay, fine, the sample is good. You sell me the goods. So now when you sell me the goods, they should correspond with the sample also as well as with the description also. All right. Both the things have to be met when we talk about sale by sample and description. So whatever sample you have shown me, the goods should be as per the sample and also the description thing should be followed. So if you have asked for sunflower oil, it should be sunflower oil. Plus आपने जो sample check कराया, it should also match. So what happened in this particular example was he showed you the sample which was mixed with hemp oil. So you found that it was a different kind of sample and he actually supplied you sunflower oil. So description was of sunflower oil, so that is fine. You got the sunflower oil. But the sample was having that mixture. And you made your decision on the basis of that sample. So where sample and description both are involved, the condition is that both the things should be satisfied. Now, if the sample is a mixed one, description is actually fine, you can still return the goods. All right. So let's take a small break over here and then we will at length discuss about sale by sample and description. Till then, just read these three conditions and if you have any doubts, you can write them down. Let's take a small break here. All right, once again, welcome back, all of you. So, okay, let's move ahead. Sale by sample as well as description. Excuse me, sir, when I share my screen, my video is not showing it to me. Please just check it once. It's not showing it to me. It's not showing. Okay. All right. So sale by sample as well as description. Let's proceed ahead. So first, let us write down few points for sale by sample and description. Number one, if goods are sold as per sample and description, I just gave you an example that it was hemp oil was mixed and sunflower was given. So what will happen? If both the goods are sold, if the goods are being sold by both sample and description, goods shall match. Correspond means match. Goods shall match with sample as well as description. Okay. Number two, if goods match with sample, but they do not match with description, then what will you do, children? Tell me. If they matched with the sample, that the sample is fine, hemp oil and uh, sunflower oil was mixed, but actually the description is not matching. You have asked for the sunflower oil and he has given you the mixed oil only. The sample was correct. He has supplied you as per the sample, but description is not matching. Then what right does the buyer has? You have to tell me. Will you accept the goods, reject the goods, refund the money? What can you do? Then it is breach of implied condition as to sample and description. Hence, correct student buyer can reject the goods. And the third case, if goods are as per description, तो आपने कहा sunflower, उसने sunflower oil दे दिया, but they don't match the sample, then also buyer has the right to reject the goods. Is that clear, students? Quickly write down these 3 points. So buyer will accept the goods only if both the conditions have been met. That is, the goods should be as per the sample and as per description. Good. Okay. Okay, somebody is still asking the doubts for yes, Mr. Sudhakar, sale by description is a separate one. Sale by sample and description is a separate one. Okay. Sanya is asking ordinary examination and how to examine the goods. Okay. Examination of goods means उन्हें check करें. ठीक है ना? आपको अगर वो साड़ी अगर आप खरीद रहे हैं तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि अब वो साड़ी खरीदने से पहले आप उसे चेक कीजिए कि वो ठीक है, कपड़ा खराब तो नहीं है, इट्स नॉट टोन्ड आउट, इट्स नॉट अनमर्केंटेबल. सो इट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. ओके, वेरी गुड किंजल, दैट्स करेक्ट. Abhishek Cha, Joya also. Yes, Joa. We can ask for the refund of money also. So it is your responsibility to check examples means just checking of. All right. So you have written down this point as well. So let us just go into the study material and just cover the points and the examples which are given over there. Sale by sample and description, section 15, where he has agreed to set the sunflower oil. This example is 100% clear. Another example you can take is that you wanted to buy basmati rice. So when you wanted to buy basmati rice, it is the description that has been given. Okay, take off the labels. And Mr. Nanda R, when you are asking for the infringement of trademark, it simply tells you you can remove the labels. Means agar aap Nestle ki Maggie you are selling and you're selling it with your name, that Miss Nanda names has been put, actually it is somebody else's brand, that is Nestle is having that particular brand holder, then you should remove your particular brand name that you have added so that you can sell it without any infringement. So that is what it talks about. Okay. Yes, Sanya, you can return and also claim the money back. That's absolutely correct. Thank you, Mr. Balkishan, for confirming that the video is showing. Somehow I can't see it. I don't know why. Okay. So, okay, where were we? We were talking about another example. So when the goods are being sold as per the description, so you ask specifically for the, Mr. Yash, you can send your queries again. I have just received your message now. You've asked for the basmati rice and he showed you a sample which were having some inferior quality rice was also mixed into that. So basmati and inferior rice were mixed. So you found that sample absolutely correct, but your requirement was for basmati rice. So when the vendor supplied, he supplied as per the sample testing, and later on you found that, oh God, it is mixed. The sample, so he said that he found with you, see, I showed you the sample and you said that sample is fine. That's why I send you. So had it been the case of you're relying only on the sample, section 15, section 17 was applicable. If it was only the contract of sale by sample, then you're bound to accept the goods. You examined the goods, you found them fine, the goods were free from any defects, then it is your duty to accept the goods. Okay. But here in this case, I am actually applying section 15, wherein I have told you that I want basmati rice and you have shown me the sample, but they do not tally with the description, or vice versa, means जो हमने 3 points लिखे. Sample तो ठीक है, आपने मुझे दिखाया वही है, but description नहीं है, तो I can return the goods. I have the right to repudiate the contract. Repudiate means to cancel the contract. Is that clear? All my friends who are asking, we have to remember the sections. Who is asking you to remember the sections? There is no need to remember the sections. Sections are not compulsory. Somehow your queries were not coming in between. Mr. Muhammad, I have seen your message now. Mr. Yash and Muhammad, if you want to ask something, please write your questions. Your names have just come now in my screen. Okay. So it is not compulsory to write the sections, number 1. Number 2, never ever write a wrong section. Okay. So क्या सिखाया था मैंने आपको? सेक्शन की जगह हम लिख सकते हैं as per the provisions of Sale of Goods Act. All right. Now let's move ahead. Condition as to quality and fitness. This is very, very interesting, and I want 100% attention from the students to pay full attention over here on this topic. Section 16, subsection 1. Why I take the name of the sections? Because, you know, sections are part of law. It makes law so beautiful. When you go to CA, intersections become very much compulsory. So it's important to tell the students, educate them, and this section relates to this, because again, law is about a memory game. जब आप बार बार सुनते हो, बार बार पढ़ते हो, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो फीड हो जाता है दिमाग. सो मतलब गलत बात नहीं है अगर आप सेक्शन लिख कर आ रहे हो, बट अब अगर आप गलत सेक्शन लिख कर आ रहे हो तो बहुत बड़ी गलत बात. Never ever write a wrong section. But yes, if you can memorize, you can learn. There is no harm in that. So that's why as teachers, we try and prefer to take the names of sections. Mr. Yash, marks will not be deducted for it. They can give you negative marks also, but never write a wrong section. Okay, this is what I'm just explaining right now. Mr. Mohammed is asking, ma'am, sale of descriptions and express conditions are same. So when I told you about this topic, I specifically mentioned that here, if you're expressly telling him, then it is an express condition. But where the seller is saying that this is Probot bottle, please buy it, but actually it's Dublin written over here, you also have to apply your knowledge. I am giving you a description as per seller that it is a Probot bottle, then it is an implied condition that it should be that. If you have specifically asked, then it becomes an express condition. Okay. Mr. Prince, again, section 15 repeat कर दीजिए. बेटा repeat करना बहुत मुश्किल है. आपको जो doubt है वो पूछ लीजिए. I will try to solve it. Okay. Otherwise, we will not be able to finish this syllabus. All right. So now condition as to quality and fitness. Ordinarily, there is no implied condition as to quality and fitness of the goods. बड़ी सिंपल सी बात उसने बोल दी कि ऐसी कोई भी implied condition नहीं होती fitness of the goods के लिए. Goods तो I am a shopkeeper, owner is the condition. Description, I am selling these goods, I am selling raw silk in the market, then it should be raw silk. Okay, Mohammed, then I have to tell you that this is raw silk, then there is a description which the seller is giving. It is an implied condition, it should be that. Sample, you tasted the walnut on my shop. The bulk should also correspond with the sample. Hemp oil, sunflower oil, mixture sample has been shown. You have asked for sunflower oil. Same things should tally, sample and description. Both should tally, not just one. But quality and fitness of goods, कहता है, there is no implied condition. Now you went to purchase the sari with your mother and he's showing you the cloth and you can see it was torn from in between. Will you buy that cloth? Okay, let's leave the sari. Let's go to Levi's showroom. You're buying a pair of jeans. And you found that the pocket of the jeans was torn. Will you buy it? Tell me, as an ordinary man of ordinary prudence, आपने जब ये goods देखा, तो क्या आप goods खरीदोगे? Tambeshwari, you tell me difference between section 15 and 17. Section 17 talks about sample. Section 15 talks about description. The two are different. 15 specifically is including description as well. When you have read section 15, it has told you I talk about sale by description. Section 17 is talking about sample. But here it is telling you if the goods are being sold by both the piece. Okay? Yes, Nishi Sanya says, no ma'am, we will not buy it. Why you will not buy it? Because the goods are not as per the quality and fitness. अब आपने देखा, ordinary examination करा, check करा, आपको पता लगा, pocket is torn off, you will not buy it, you will complain him, you will tell him. Okay? So this is the thing. Now what will happen is, condition as to reasonable fitness for a particular purpose may be implied. अब यहाँ पे आपने 3 conditions you have to note down. Okay? You have to note down 3 conditions. First, we'll divide the paragraph into 3 points and then I'll explain. Number 1, you told the seller for what purpose you require the goods. You relied upon seller's skill and judgment. Number 3, seller is dealing in such goods. So what are the 3 conditions? Number 1, buyer tells the seller, you can write this, what I'm writing for you, in a simple language, and then we will discuss. Buyer tells the seller the purpose for which the goods are required. Number 2, buyer is relying upon means हिंदी में depend हो रहा है. Relying upon means you're dependent on seller's skill and judgment. And number 3, very interesting. Seller ordinarily deals means regular basis पे. Seller is already dealing in such type of goods. Means उसका business है in goods में deal करने का. Then, if goods are not as per, if the goods are not as per quality and fitness, then the buyer can reject the goods. जल्दी से ये कॉपी कर लीजिए. Points for implied condition of. Yes, Mr. Yash, you can write the word as per the provisions of Sale of Goods Act 1930. That is also fine. Mr. Vivek is saying, what is fitness of the goods? अभी आपको fitness समझ आएगा. पहले आप ये तीनों conditions लिख लीजिए. So you simply have to remember if these 3 things are satisfied, then if the goods are not as per the quality and fitness, then the buyer can reject the goods. Now, what is the meaning of quality and fitness? Let's take a very interesting example. You went to a shopkeeper. Instead, you went to a tailor. who deals with stitching coat pants for gents. So you went to a tailor who is involved in stitching the coat pants for the gents. You relied on his skill means, what is the meaning of this? You relied on his skill means आपने उसे कहा कि you have been regularly stitching the coat pant, please take my size, and I'm relying on you because I don't know, I am a chartered accountant, how do I know stitching? I don't know how to stitch a coat pant. You can know it also if you have a hobby to pursue. There is nobody stopping you from knowing it. But I'm taking a layman's example that I don't know how to stitch a coat pant. You are the shopkeeper who has been stitching coat pants for the gents. So please take my size and I rely on your skill and judgment. You know better what coat collar should be given, how much sleeves should be kept, or how the things have to go. I'm relying on you. And I told him I need coat pants, coat pant or suit for gents. So I have told him the purpose. I need a coat pant suit for gents. I have relying on his skill, and the dealer is one, tailor is one who already deals with coat pants for gents. Now, Mr. Vivek, if you give the coat pant which is not as per your size, which is not as per your requirements, you have asked him to stitch it in a black color and put cuffs over here, which should be white. He has not done it. Quality is not as per your choice. Fitness, जो आपको आनी थी, fitting, it is not as per the requirement. You have the right to reject the goods because these three conditions have been fulfilled. क्वालिटी एंड फिटनेस मींस जो चीज आपने मांगी है उसके अकॉर्डिंग होनी चाहिए, फिट होनी चाहिए, ठीक होनी चाहिए उस पर्पस के लिए. So here you are relying on the tailor's skill and judgment. You have told him and he actually deals in such kind of products. Now if he gives coat pants of a kid size, obviously you will feel so angry and you'll return it. Or let's take another example. He is a dealer who deals with stitching the coat pants for kids only. He's a tailor who deals with stitching the coat pants for kids only. You told him I need a coat pant for gents. आपने उसे बोला मुझे तो अपने लिए कोट पैंट सिलवाना है, but you know that he's dealing with the kids. Then it is your fault, my dear friend. As a buyer, you are in a wrong shop. Seller should be dealing with such category of goods. If he is not dealing, if he only deal with kids, then it is not seller's fault, then it is your fault. Are you understanding? So you went another example. Let's make you laugh more. Another example, you went to the tailor who stitched coat pants for boys and you said, I want to stitch to get a lehenga stitched for my wedding. There's a female who went to that shop and he said, I want a lehenga stitch. And then it did not came as per the quality and fitness. It was totally pathetic because he has never made this. So you are relying on his skill and judgment, but he is not dealing in such goods. The first two criteria is met. You told him the purpose and you're relying on his skill and judgment, but he is never dealing in such category of goods. Then whose fault is it? Buyers or sellers? Tell me. If you do such kind of mistake, then whose mistake is this? Tell me, student, whose mistake is this? Why I'm not getting your answers? Buyer or seller? Buyer's mistake. Very good, Juhi. Very good, Divya. Very nice, everyone. It is buyer's mistake because buyer should actually go to the seller who is actually dealing in such goods. If you're not dealing in such goods, then it is not the seller's mistake. So these 3 points are very important to remember that the buyer should have, see here, we have written it over here also. Buyer should tell the seller the particular purpose for which the goods are required. He should rely on the skill and judgment, and the goods should be as per the description, whether he is a manufacturer or not. It is not necessary. Very good. Excellent. Abhishek, Renuka, Tapaswani, Aditya, Ruchika, Neha, Jua, Neha Jain, Dheeraj, Vivek, Sanya, Anusa Singh, Kaira, Monu, Mohammed, all of you are correct. Vipin, now I'm getting your answers. Great. Neha Yadav says it's our mistake. Okay, so our means buyer. Vipin saying good. Okay, Renuka, nice. Good, 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 children. Sakshi, Anjali, Priyanka, all of you. So now if you're relying on these 3 points, then you can hold the seller responsible. You have to find and tell the purpose. Let's read example number 11 and 12. It's very interesting. A bought a set of false teeth from B, a dentist. फिर से आपका वो teeth वाला आ गया. Remember? Contract of work and material, and when we discussed about contract sale. Sakshi is asking relying ka meaning. Relying means dependent. You are dependent on the seller, on his skill and judgment, ki how he is going to design the cloth for you. All right. So A bought the set of false teeth from B, a dentist, but the set was not fit for A's mouth. So A went to the dentist and he said that I want my teeth to be removed and I want a false set of teeth. So here he is going to the dentist. He has shown him the size of his mouth and everything. He's relying. How can you decide what teeth? I told you we're chartered accountants, you're not dentists. How do I know how much size of the teeth will be required and how the fitting has to be done? This is the dentist's role. He is a professional in this field. So you're relying on him. Relying means आप उसके ऊपर निर्भर हो, dependent हो. आप उसकी स्किल, उसकी कला के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट हो. हिंदी में समझ आ गया. English friends, you are dependent on the skill. You know that meaning of that word, okay? So here you are being dependent on the dentist. But the teeth set that he made for you was not fit for your mouth. What will you do? Quality and fitness has been breached. You will reject the teeth and you claim the refund of price. A was entitled to do because he has let known the purpose for which the set of teeth was not fulfilled. Because the purpose for which it was required, that is only not being fulfilled. I told you I want the set of teeth for my mouth and now it is not getting fit in my mouth. The purpose has got defeated. I can return the goods. But children, एक interesting example और बताओ. When you went to the shop and you asked the seller for a bottle of Coke. You went to the seller, grocery stop में हमने chips पड़े खाए हैं, chocolates पड़ी खाए हैं, अब आपने Coke की bottle order करी. So Coke is labeled as Coke, brand name, patent name. The taste was not good. Is it seller's mistake? If you ordered for the bottle of Coke and the Coke was not tasting good, whose mistake is it? Can you say, seller, this is your mistake? I relied on your skill and judgment. You are the dealer dealing in Coke. You're not the dealer dealing in Coke. You're the shopkeeper. He's not a dealer for the Coke. General shops, you buy Lay's chips, you buy Dairy Milk brand chocolate. All the brands are lying over there. He's dealing in all those kind of goods. Grocery store. No, ma'am, it is not. Seller's mistake. Excellent. Those who have given this answer. Then whose mistake is it? It says there's certain cases where brand name and patent is involved. It says implied condition on the seller that the goods supply should be reasonably fit, but kahan gaya? Implied condition will not apply if the goods are being sold under a trade name or patent name. Nestle's Maggie, you purchased Nestle Maggie, it did not taste good. Nestle's mistake. Purchase Coke, it is not tasting good. Coke brand's mistake, not seller's mistake. ट्रेडमार्क एंड पेटेंट के लिए आप सेलर को लायबल नहीं कर सकते. देयर इज नो इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन. हाउ डू आई नो द स्टॉक हैज कम फ्रॉम बिहाइंड? देयर माइट बी सम प्रॉब्लम. Any particular packet of biscuits, you have to check the expiry date. That is where the seller is involved. That is what the role of caveat emptor is all involved, children. Caveat emptor means the buyer should be aware before buying the goods. You should check the date of expiry. You should see if the goods are fine, good, they're not having any problem in themselves. Okay, otherwise there is no implied. Seller will not tell you, look, my goods are not fine, don't buy it. It is your duty to check that the goods are fit and good for use. So brand name ki case mein it says A went to B's shop and asked for merit sewing machine. B gave the same and paid the price. He relied on the trade name of the machine. Here you are telling him that I want a merit sewing machine. Machine, he wanted a sewing machine to sew the clothes, and the brand name was Merit. So here, Merit Sewing Machine is the brand name. You're not relying on the seller's skill and judgment. You're relying on the brand name. Therefore, there is no implied condition as to quality and fitness for the buyer's particular goods. So you have to tell to the examiner that if it is a brand mistake, then it is a different case. And if it is you're relying on the seller's skill and judgment, then it is the seller's mistake. Today we have covered too many topics, so I would want you to test your knowledge questions also, and also we'll try to do certain descriptive questions after we are done with the implied conditions. Okay, now condition. Okay, so as a general rule, it is the duty of the buyer to examine the goods. आपकी जिम्मेवारी बनती है. This is known as the rule of caveat emptor. Caveat emptor means let the buyer be aware. So this is very, very important. Read it twice. You will understand what it says. It is buyer's duty to examine the goods before buying, and he should see that the goods are suitable before buying it. So you went to shop, you said that I want to buy a t-shirt for myself. You went to Vero Moda shop and you said I want to buy a t-shirt for myself. So generally what do? There are try rooms, we try on the t-shirts and then buy it. Now you just picked up a particular shirt size and you did not try it, and later on you started fighting with the seller that this shirt is not fitting to me. Please accept your mistakes also as a buyer. ऐसे नहीं कि हर वक्त हम सेलर की गलती ढूंढेंगे कि सेलर की मिस्टेक है, he should have told me, I'm relying on his skill and judgment. No, it is buyer's duty to examine and check the goods. Another example, you went to the grocery store to buy 5 packets of biscuits. Please, before buying the biscuits, just have a flip, check the date of expiry. So for example, you purchased 5 packets and they all were expired. Seller will obviously say you should have checked it before buying. Although he can accept the return also, there is no harm in that. But आपकी भी तो कोई जिम्मेवारी है. As a buyer, it is your duty to check before buying the goods. Another example of that table that we took in today's example, that the leg of the table was broken. Please just examine it. Overall check करो, खराब तो नहीं है, टूटा तो नहीं है. You purchased a bed sheet for your house and it was having different kind of stains on that bed sheet. Some ink stains were all there, blue ink hua tha. Don't buy it. Check it before buying it. It is your duty as a buyer to check before buying the goods. That is what is the role of caveat emptor. And then comes to your condition of merchantability. Let's move ahead. I hope no doubts over here. कंपनी की मिस्टेक हो गई है स्नेहा यादव, उसमें कंपनी की मिस्टेक हो. Yes, Anjali, because of expiry date. So I just told you it is your duty to check the expiry date also. Manufacturing defect, that is fine. Gulshan, Balkishan, Suresh, Nanda, Anuj, all of you are correct. Hitesh, Manthan, Renuka, Priyanka, very good. Muhammad Anas, that's good. Hini Kumari, that's good. It's not seller's mistake. Nice. Okay, what is the meaning of merchantable? Condition as to merchantability, that means the goods should be in proper working conditions. You purchased a cycle for your kid and a small cycle, okay, for yourself also, and the tire of the cycle is not working properly. The cycle is not working properly. The pedal is not working properly. That means merchantability is not there. Goods are not merchantable. Okay, so it is very important that the goods that you are buying should be in good condition. The two requirements are the goods should be brought as per the description and the seller is dealing in such kind of goods. If the buyer has examined the goods, then they should be free from the defects. It is very important that the goods shall be of merchantable quality, means they should be in proper working conditions. You went to the market to purchase a remote for your television and you came home, you played Netflix and you find that remote is not working. Is it merchantable or not merchantable? बताओ मुझे जल्दी से. Movable goods है, merchantable है, नहीं. Thank you, Sanya. I'm glad the concept is clear to all of you. Vishnu Dio, Anjali, good. Yes, Yash, it will be company's mistake in that very case. In case the buyer has purchased 1 packet of chips and the chips are expired, but the buyer has not to see the expiry date. Mr. Motiani Rajesh Kumar, it is buyer's duty before buying the goods, but still if they're expired, he forgot to check, he can go and complain to the seller that you have given me the wrong goods. But as a general rule, it says that it is your duty also. So although we can debate for that as well, but then you have to apply rule of caveat emptor as well. Okay, Anuza, Abhishek, Juhi, that's correct. It is not mercantable. That means it's not in working condition. Yash says it's mercantable. The remote is not working. That means it's not mercantable. It's not in proper working condition. But the two things that you have to be satisfied, you should have bought the goods by description, means you should have told him that I need a remote for my television, and the seller should be dealing in such goods. Now, you went to a shopkeeper who deals in the remotes for the video games, and you asked for the remote for television, Tata Sky. So then there is a mismatch. So both these conditions should be fulfilled. You are buying the goods by description, and you have told him that the dealer should be dealing in such kind of goods. So I give you a small break of 1 minute over here. Let me just go through your queries, if any, and then just read this topic of goods as per mercantability. Just 1 minute break we are taking over here. All right. All right, students. So goods are not mercantable in that very case. That's absolutely correct. So before proceeding further, I want you to do one descriptive question with me. Let's do second question number, descriptive questions from the study material. Just a second. So I want all of you to open your study material and go through the question number 2, which is given in the study. Mrs. Geeta went to the local rise. Let me see, because I have not received any queries. So I'm glad you're writing it's crystal clear. No doubts as of now. So we have cleared the doubts also in between. So wonderful. So let's try to solve this question. Mrs. Geeta went to the local rice and wheat wholesale shop. So she's going to a wholesale shop. She asked for 100 kgs of basmati rice. Is she giving certain kind of description? Yes, ma'am. She's describing. She's asking for the basmati rice. Shopkeeper quoted the price of 125 per kg, to which she has agreed. So Mrs. Geeta insisted that she would like to see the sample of what she will be provided. So what is the hidden word that has been used in this question? Sample. So Geeta has gone to the shop. It is a wholesale shop. She wants basmati rice. It is the shop of rice. And she has asked for the sample. That will be provided by the shopkeeper before she agreed. The shopkeeper showed her a bowl of rice as sample. The sample exactly correspond to the entire lot. She also examined the lot. Buyer examined the sample casually without noticing the fact that there was the sample of Raspberry also has long and short grains. So generally basmati rice when you buy, it is of little long grains. But here she did not notice that there were certain short grains also. The cooking on opening of the bags complained that if the dish prepared with the rice would not taste as the same quality as the rice was not as per the requirement of dish. Now she wants to file a case for fraud against the seller, alleging him selling of the mixed of cheap quality and good quality rice. Decide the fate of the case means decide what will happen in the case and what options are available to the buyer for grievance redressal. Grievance redressal means जब आपको गुस्सा आता है तो आप grievance address करते हो अपनी. Grievance means anger. Grievance redressal के पास sale of goods में आप कैसे इस grievance को address करोगे? You tell me immediately without cheating the answers what should happen in this very case. Mr. Gulshan, come and read this question number 2 with me. Your all answers, doubts will get clear. Mr. Abhishek Cha, we have put a hold on implied condition as to mercantability. First, we are going to solve this question because I want to understand how well you have understood today's. Yes, section 17 is applicable. Very good, Pankaj. That's great. So, Tambeshwari saying section 17 is applicable. Very nice. But you have to tell me what is the correct answer. Section 17, you remember, because we are just doing the sections today. You tend to forget. It's okay if you don't write sections in foundation. It's absolutely fine. Joa says, yes, she will succeed. She has the right to reject the goods and ask. See, you have not read and you have quickly jumped to a conclusion. Miss Joa, why you are rejecting the goods? Have you seen whether you have noticed the defects? It says without noticing the fact is the key line over here, children. Okay, I'm waiting for other answers also to come. सेल बाय सैंपल का केस है, सेल बाय सैंपल एंड डिस्क्रिप्शन का केस है. वेरी गुड मोनू सिंह, आई लाइक योर आंसर. Okay, there is an implied condition. Bulk must correspond. I'm asking for the answer. I understood that you're giving me the provisions. That is wonderful. So there are three parts to this answer. Number one is provision. So all of you have answered it correctly, ma'am. It is the case of section 17, that is sale by sample. What will happen in case of sale by sample? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Those who have given the correct answer. But many of you are still giving wrong answers that yes, she can file a suit. So let me show you how you actually have to write. What will happen in this particular cases without going to the answer? Let me first tell you. Here, Geeta has checked the notice. She has seen that there was certain problem because of which she should have rejected the goods. Okay? She should have immediately rejected the goods. Okay, let me just show it to you in a while. Just one second. So what will happen in this particular case? Let us quickly go to the answer and discuss. Okay. So first of all, the provision you have to write down. Now, how to write the answer, that is what we're going to understand. Number one, the paragraph will be the provisions. So section 17, you remember, that is fine. The bulk shall correspond with the sample in quality. Great. Buyer shall have the reasonable opportunity of comparing the bulk with the sample. Now, what will happen? If you are giving him a chance, if you are giving him the chance that the bulk should be corresponding, you have given him the chance to compare the bulk. And here, she will not be successful because she has casually examined the basmati rice. Now, this is the provision which I want all of you to write down. First of all, the provisions of the case. This is what the students are asking him to write down. Then what will be the case? Then comes the facts of the case. Just come over here. So first, children, you will write the provisions. This is the provision. Section 17 is applicable. Both these points should be written. Now come the facts of the case. Now this is the facts of the case. कहानी में कहा क्या गया? You will write in the instant case. ये रहने देना अगर नहीं याद होता ना. In the light provision, leave this. In the instant case, ये नहीं लिख रहे हैं. Mrs. Geeta will not be successful as she has casually examined. Now, फिर again he has given you the conclusion also. So what you have to write, Mr. Geeta has casually examined the sample without noticing that the sample was of basmati rice and it contained long and short grains. Buyer does not have, now this is conclusion. What is the conclusion? Number one, she will not be successful. This is the conclusion. Number two, she will not have the option to going to the grievance redressal. Conclusion of point number first. Have you understood, children, carefully? First provision, the bulk should correspond whenever the sale by sample is being made. The bulk should correspond with the sample. Buyer shall be given the reasonable opportunity of comparing the bulk with the sample. What are the facts of the case? In this case, Geeta did not examine the goods and the goods were having certain kind of defect, that is long and short grains both. Conclusion, Mrs. Geeta will not be successful. She cannot file a case against the grievance redressal. Clear हो गया यहाँ तक? बिल्कुल clear है. It's absolutely fine. Let's move ahead to the second point that they have asked for it. Okay. What is the second point? What would be your answer in case Mrs. Geeta specified her exact requirement as to length of the rice? Now again, there is a twist in the question. All those answers that you have given. Okay, let me see your answers as well. She cannot file a case. It is a duty to examine the goods. Geeta can file the suit. My God, Sanya, why are you saying she can file the suit? Very good. Ardhendu Viswas, because she has casually examined. Great answer. Anil Yadav, Gulshan, Anuza, Anjali, Sakshi, Anuj, Kinjal. Good. Correct answers you all have given. So that means you have to be careful before buying the goods. Okay. Now I'm looking for the answers for the second one. Mrs. Geeta specified the exact requirement. What will you do then? When she has specified the exact requirement, then it is the implied condition that the goods shall also match with the description. If not, seller will be held liable. Simple and short and sweet story. Now, if I am asking you, this is the second part of the answer, okay? I hope you have written down the way I've asked you to write it down. First part covered the provisions, the facts, and the conclusion. This was the answer for the first part. Now, when you are specifically telling him, now comes your case of section 15. लिखना जरूरी नहीं है section, but I am trying to tell you now this is the case of section 15, that is the sale by description. Now it becomes an implied condition that the goods should match for the description. If it is not matching, seller will be held liable. Simple. हमें उसको कुछ कन्विंस नहीं करना है, कुछ बताना नहीं है, सिर्फ हमने रिक्वायरमेंट लिखनी है कि अगर हमने डिस्क्रिप्शन बताई है, then the goods shall be matching as per the description. Is that clear, all of you? Okay, so we have done one important descriptive question also from study material, which is a part of your examination question, student. This has earlier come in exam also once. So that's why I wanted you to do one question also. Now let's just quickly complete the last condition of merchantability also and wholesomeness also. So condition as to merchantability, section 16, subsection 2 में वापस आ जाओ. There are two requirements for meeting the condition as to merchantability. Number one, the goods should be as per the description and he should be dealing in such goods. हमने अभी remote control वाला question करा था. If you are going to a dealer who is dealing with the video games remote control and you are buying another TV remote control, it is your fault. Seller will not be held liable. You want to buy a television remote control, you have told him dealer is dealing in television remote control. Then if it is not merchantable, please go and return the goods, claim your refund of money. There shall be no implied condition if the defects are ought to be revealed. फिर से defects वाला point, फिर से ordinary examination वाला point, merchantability की point. आपने एज अ मैन ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी प्रूडेंस देख रहे हो कि गुड्स में खराबी है, फिर आप एक्सेप्ट करोगे वो गुड्स? विल यू एक्सेप्ट दोस गुड्स? Where you are seeing that there is a defect in the goods, then bacha, it is your mistake if you're buying such goods. Don't buy if there is a defect in the goods. A bought a black velvet cloth but found it to be damaged by white ants. When A purchased the black velvet cloth, he saw that there were white ants in that cloth. Whose mistake it is? Yours or the seller's? When you have seen the white ants, will you buy the goods? Definitely no, ma'am. We will not buy the goods because the goods are unmerchantable. Merchantability means the goods should be in proper condition. Very good. Those who have written, no, ma'am, we will not buy the goods. I'm so happy when you quickly reply me the answers. Mr. Suresh is asking examination forms. Bacha, admin queries, books nahi aayi, examination forms kahan hai, kab honge? Please address to the administration. You're not supposed to ask such questions over here, okay? In fact, we are not supposed to answer it. We have just related to the law questions, relevant questions you can ask. Prince Kumar, I hope now merchantability point is clear to you. So if the goods are not, and then you have to remember this examination wala point, buyer's fault. Very good, very good. Those who have answers, it is buyer's fault. So if you are buying a velvet cloth which is damaged by white ants, you can find it in the ordinary examination. Then you should not buy such certain kind of goods. It is your mistake if you're buying such goods. But another example, अगर वो velvet cloth खराब है and आपको नहीं पता लग रहा, you cannot find out the ants attached, या फिर आपने कोई ऐसी चीज वुड परचेज करी जिसपे दीमक लगी हुई है, दीमक पता है ना आपको? So if it is ants are around it and it is destroyed and you cannot figure it out, then it is seller's mistake. It is depending upon the case to case and circumstances. You have to prove that point whose mistake it was. If you have examined, again, patent and latent defects are very, very important, children. Patent defects means जो सामने दिख रहे हैं, patent है. Latent are hidden defects. आप find out नहीं कर सकते हो on the ordinary examination. Okay? Very good. Then it will be seller's mistake. Absolutely correct. And what is the condition as to wholesomeness? So now all the milk, butter, cheese, eggs I have put in front of you. Why, ma'am? Because wholesomeness relates to food items. A supplied F with milk which was contaminated with typhoid germs. And F died having that typhoid germs. Very dangerous. Condition as to wholesomeness. अगर आप milk खरीद रहे हो, दही खरीद रहे हो, butter खरीद रहे हो, हम अब खाने की बातें करें, wholesomeness. अगर वो खराब है, shopkeeper की 100% mistake है. In fact, you can file a criminal case against him if the person has died or such a kind of disease has happened by consuming such kind of thing. So there is an implied condition. The shopkeeper, we're not supposed to ask the shopkeeper if your butter is fine or not. It has to be fine. If he's giving you Amul butter, it has to be fine. If he's giving you packets of milk, yes, it is your duty to check the expiry date. It should not be expired. Apply some common sense also. If you're drinking expired milk, it is your duty. If the milk has been lying in the home for 10 days and it is all contaminated, don't drink it. You cannot blame the seller then. Wholesomeness means the seller has supplied something wrong, then it is the problem. So condition as to wholesomeness means for all these eatable products, if the goods are not as per your satisfaction, they are dangerous, they are having disease, they are having germs, then you can file a case against the seller and you can tell him that the goods were not as per the wholesomeness and you can return the goods and ask for the refund of money. So with this, along with all your doubts, we come to an end to the topic of implied conditions. What we have to do in the next class is implied warranties and your caveat emptor. So now let's move ahead to the topic of testing your knowledge. Okay. If the seller fault, then these goods can be refundable. That's great. All right, I want the answer for first question. Latent means not able to find the defects. Yes, Miss Sakshi, that's good. So the first question in front of you in the screen, wear your thinking caps and tell me that the goods must correspond with the sample. Is it the case of condition as to sample, condition as to wholesomeness, condition as to description, or all of the above? What is this condition related to? Where I'm saying that the goods must match with the sample, what is this question related to? Excellent, very well answered. I don't know, Tambeshwari, why you're answering the third. First is the correct answer, 1A, that is condition as to sample. Whenever the goods are to correspond with the sample, that means there is an implied condition as to sample. So all those who have written Bipin, Sneha Moe, Lakshmi, Shraddha, Divya, Motiani, Vivek, Neha, Juhi. Excellent. Okay, yes, Bikash, I'm glad you're finding it easy. So that's good. When you do number of examples along with chapters, it becomes very easy and interesting. Very good. Anuj, Divya, Kinjal, Monu. Anusa, your answer is incorrect. First A is the correct answer. Rohini, Vivek, all of you. Yes, now you're sending it correct. Great. Okay, let's move to second question. I think second you did yesterday with me. Third one. Which of the following is not an implied condition in a contract of sale? Right condition as to title, condition as to sample, condition as to encumbrances, condition as to description. Which of the following is not an implied condition? Not a problem, Bikash, Guchat. I hope now you have understood everything. You're saying that you were having some network problem at your end. Okay, very good. C is the correct answer because condition as to encumbrances is no implied condition. It is related to warranties. All of you have given the correct answer. This also we have done. Okay, now this last one. A woman purchased fairness cream without disclosing to the seller that her skin is abnormally sensitive and then she got allergy consequently. Is the seller liable for it? Number one, seller is liable. Number two, seller is not liable. Seller is liable only for the medical expenses, none of the above. What is the correct answer? And I want some explanation also with this answer. If yes, why yes? If no, why no? Thank you, Mr. Anuj Kumar. I'm glad you liked the class. हाँ जी, सान्या खान, सबके आंसर्स आ रहे हैं. कायरा, अंजलि, गुलशन, प्रियंका. Children, you enjoy when I take your names, huh? Lakshmi, Divya, all of you. Hinu Kumari, all your answers are coming. Nishi Garg, wrong answer, correct answer. Nanda, wrong answer. Gulshan, wrong answer. Rohini, Juhi, Hitesh, correct. Taran Dehu, correct. Dheeraj, correct. Mohammed, correct. Hinu Kumari, correct. So why all those who are saying seller is not liable, why? I want to know the answer also. Seller is not liable is very easy to say, but why he's not liable? What implied condition has not been breached over here? I want to know the answer from all of you. Women purchase the fairness cream without disclosing the fact, and now seller you're saying is not liable. Why he's not liable? Excellent. Buyer has not disclosed. He has not. अच्छा, he has not checked the expiry. Vipin is saying. यहाँ expiry की तो बात ही नहीं हुई बेटा. Because Sneha Moy says seller is not aware. Yes, good. Buyer's mistake because she has not told. Miss Divya correct. Vikash correct. Breach of quality of condition and condition as to quality and fitness. Mr. Vikash, that's absolutely correct. Woman has to disclose her problem. Because it's buyer's mistake to check. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So all those who have given the correct answers, give yourself a patting from my side. Well done. I'm so happy and I'm so glad that you revise the concepts along with the class and then you give correct answers also. So I'm here for 1 more minute. If you have any doubts, you can ask it. Otherwise, we'll try to cover it in the next class. If you have any doubts, please ask. It's all crystal clear, then it's good. Those who have written. She was not following the rule of caveat emptor inquesting. No doubts, everything clear. That's wonderful. All right, students. So your homework for the next class is revise all these 7 implied conditions. Try to solve as many examples as you can. Do a brainstorming activity. Think about anything which is related to these topics and try to solve descriptive questions also. In the next class, we will be covering caveat emptor and implied guarantees. And also we are going to start with chapter number 3 of Sale of Goods Act. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Have a nice time, but do study.